India Today is the only channel that is present at the ground zero of the line of actual control at India-China border. India Today's Ashraf Wani is in Ladakh explaining how the army is assembling troops but with necessary equipment in view of the standoff between India and China. Take a look at the super exclusive ground report.
People living near line of actual control here in Ladakh say that they have never seen in decades this kind of army build-up from Indian side after 1965 war with China. The tension is mounting on the line of actual control and it is visible here by the movement of the armed forces. The Ladakh Scouts, which is the main force to fight any kind of conflict in this region, has been already dispatched to different sections of line of actual control in Ladakh. But it is believed that mostly the thrust is on the objective that there should be no any kind of conflict with Chinese army and the issues should be settled and solved with the mutual understanding as it was going on earlier. With Rauf Ahmed, Ashraf Wani for India Today on LAC in Ladakh. During last few days, there is continuously aggression from the Chinese side on line of actual control. The troop deployment by the Chinese had been made within the Indian territory, some say 4 kilometers within the Indian territory, but so far the response is also visible on ground where Indian troops are also building their deployment on the line of actual control. In the Ladakh region of Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh Scouts has the main task to defend the line of control with Indo-Tibetan Border Police and Indian Army. Most of the Ladakh Scouts troops are being deployed on the line of actual control, but there is a escalating tension between India and China, and equally there is the tension now among the civilians who are living in the Ladakh region. We have with us here some of the people who are traveling to Ladakh or residents of Ladakh. I will talk to one of the boys. Your name?
Sir, my name is Mohammed Mehdi.
Mehdi, please tell me one thing, that the China is aggressive on the line of actual control. They have tried in the last many decades to grab the Indian land. What latest developments you have heard, and what kind of response you think government of India should do?
Sir, China is not directly attacking. It is attacking from inside. It is capturing the land one by one, in very small pieces. So to prevent that, India should occupy the land which has been captured by the China and should capture, and to tell them to not to capture our land, India should capture their land too.
So that is the exclusive ground report coming in. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister yesterday chaired a high-level meeting with Defence Minister, 3 service chiefs, the National Security Advisor and also the Chief of Defence Staff on the Ladakh Standoff. Tensions continue along the line of actual control. There are now 5,000 Chinese troops in the Ladakh sector. India also deciding, however, not to back down on this situation. Take a look.
India Today was the first to literally show you the tensions in Ladakh. Images that have now become the face of the military standoff. But despite multiple rounds of talks spread over 22 days, the Chinese aren't backing off, and the situation hasn't been diffused. Let's first take you through the latest from the ground. At least 5,000 Chinese troops have been diverted from a military exercise to amass close to the line of actual control. While they haven't crossed the border, they remain nearby, and with conflicting perceptions of the border, things are very tense. But as we reported to you first, the Indian Army is matching the Chinese troop for troop across the 4 major standoff areas in the Galwan River Valley as well as the northern banks of the Pangong Lake. Indian forces are now also being ferried by aircraft and helicopter to the front via the world's highest airstrip at Daulat Beg Oldi. The troops are being positioned across the standoff zones in eastern Ladakh, as well as to fully deter any Chinese advance towards the northern sectors of Ladakh. The situation has escalated steeply since the 5th of May, when troops on both sides engaged in a violent brawl on the banks of the Pangong Lake. a brawl similar but smaller in size than the infamous 2017 brawl that made viral worldwide headlines. India today has now learnt disturbing new facts about this latest fight on the 5th of May. Chinese army troops are understood to have used barbed wire-wrapped clubs and stones to attack the Indian army forces. Indian troops retaliated despite larger Chinese troop numbers. It was the ugliness of this attack that was followed by such a sharp escalation.
This ingress by Chinese troops is to overlook or to threaten the line of communication, which is the road Darbuk, Shyok or DBO. DBO, as we are aware, is the latest airfield that India had operationalized about over 2 years back.
We have made it categorically clear that under no circumstances will we stop work on the infrastructure, nor would India compromise on its sovereignty and integrity under any circumstance. Chinese are trying to put huge pressure on India for several reasons. A, they do not want India to join hands with the Western world in condemning China as far as the origin of virus is concerned.
India's last standoff with China in Doklam lasted 76 days. The Ladakh Standoff is 22 days in and counting. With Manjeet Negi in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, amid this India-China border face-off, the three-day biennial Army Commanders Conference was currently underway with Army Chief General M.M. Naravane presiding over the meeting. Top Army commanders are also attending the meeting that will discuss all security challenges for India, including the border standoff with China. Yesterday, remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had held a crucial meeting with the Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, and 3 services chiefs to review the current scenario in Ladakh. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval was also present at the crucial meeting last evening. Sources add that the top military brass apprised PM Modi about the evolving situation in eastern Ladakh.
नरेंद्र मोदी के भारत को कोई भी आंख नहीं दिखा सकता। फिर कहूंगा, नरेंद्र मोदी जी के भारत को कोई आंख नहीं दिखा सकता।
All right, now let's listen in to a special interaction coming in of General V.K. Singh with Gaurav Sawant.
Roads were India's Achilles heel. Now that this 255-kilometer Shyok Road, the DVO Shyok Road is up, is that making, is that making China uncomfortable?
No, I don't think so. The road has been in the making for quite some time. It goes all along the river and then takes a turn and goes towards DB. Earlier there was a thought that we should go over the Remo group of glaciers, but that is a more difficult task because glacier keeps moving. You can't make a road over a glacier. How do you tunnel through the glacier? You know, these are very technical issues. So the road perforce has taken a longer route. I don't think that is the issue at all. I think what is being tried out by China is posturing, and posturing to divert attention. See, China today has got notoriety because of COVID, because of Corona, because of Wuhan. Everybody seems to be blaming China, despite whatever they are saying. So my feeling is they would like to divert attention. They would also like to divert attention from South China Sea. They would like to divert attention from all the trade problems that they are having. So what better thing can be done than to bring up a nationalistic issue? Oh, our borders are unsafe. Oh, India is encroaching into our territory. We are not.
That was former Army Chief and incumbent Union Minister General V.K. Singh in conversation with Gaurav Sawant. I want to now toss over to Gaurav, who's joining me live in this special telecast. Gaurav, over to you. I hear you have a special guest with you today.
Pooja, this is the first reaction from a minister in the Narendra Modi government and someone who's former chief of the army staff. General VK Singh making two things very clear. One, India is strong at the line of actual control. India's got adequate number of troops on ground. And two, road construction activity will not come to a standstill. India's infrastructure development is a key result area, both when it comes to Nitin Gadkari as the road transport minister and General VK Singh as someone who's looking after the strategic road construction. But on China's activities along the LAC, let me quickly cut across and bring in Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, former Kashmir Corps commander, somebody who studied China very closely into this conversation. And General Gurmeet Singh, I'd like to understand from you, General VK Singh says that China is using this as diversionary tactics because China is under pressure when it comes to COVID-19. But if China is under too much pressure, can the balloon go up? Can it lead to an exchange of fire at the line of actual control?
Definitely, looking at the activities of the China in East Ladakh, they are aggressive, provocative, and definitely divisionary tactics by the China. In fact, you cannot look at this area only in isolation. You got to look at Eastern Ladakh along with what happened on May 9th in North Sikkim, what happened regarding Lipu Lake map, and what is happening in Dayamar Basha Dam in POK. So when you connect all these dots, you find that it's a diversionary tactic definitely by them. And I would say that it has got to be noted that Indian security forces are alert, they are prepared, and they should be, they have the capability, capacity, and the skills for any contingency in the present circumstances.
Now, some have argued that in case China troubles India in the Himalayas, China will not have such an easy passage in the Indian Ocean region. Is that wishful thinking or is that actually a contingency?
No, absolutely. In fact, the entire security paradigm has got to be seen in an interconnected point of view. If there's a problem in Eastern Ladakh, at the same time, China is having problem in South China Sea, in East China Sea. It is having problem with the Vietnamese boat. And we have seen what problems they are having in WHO and the World Health Assembly, which was there. And the entire world has risen up to ask few strategic questions regarding corona. So obviously, this would have had effect on the internal dynamics of China itself. Some questions against the leadership. And what you said categorically in Indian Ocean region, obviously this has got to be seen as as an overall security perspective.
Okay. Many, Pooja, argue that people end up jumping the gun and they say either you are in conversation or it ends up in guns being fired. But we've been speaking to a number of people engaged in the task of bringing, the situation under control, and they say that guns are a far, far away thing. As of now, there are many layers to diplomacy at multiple levels, at the level of army to army, diplomats to diplomats. At an international level, there are a lot of, developments that are taking place. And the situation, as General, VK Singh told India Today in their exclusive conversation, is well and truly under control. Pooja.
All right, Gaurav, I do have an added question, though. We have seen instances in the past as well, and you have been speaking to experts both in the military and outside of it as well. How are they looking at this specific confrontation? Because we have had instances in the past, whether Doklam or otherwise as well. But how are they looking at this specific instance? It's already day 22.
Oh, absolutely. General Depsang lasted 21 days. Doklam lasted 73 days. Is it time for India to say enough is enough? China cannot keep doing it all the time. Or is it that we also go up to our claim line and China keeps quiet about it? Because after all, no bullets have been fired. Except the difference this time is that apparently there are reports that China is building some kind of defenses in the Finger 4 area in Pengong So, or even here claiming that Galwan River Valley belongs to them.
In fact, you are right. The same area, Depsang 2013. Then in Doklam 2017. But after the Doklam, the President of China and Indian Prime Minister had met, and the end point was that they gave strategic guidance to both the sides to maintain peace and tranquility. But it has been seen since 2000, when the activities were there on the north bank of Pengong. So it's a creeping claims by China. This cannot be endless. I think we have to sit together. We got to exchange the LAC perception. And this type of a situation where physically you come together, unilaterally try to increase the activity, bring in tents in that situation and create standoff cannot last too long, you know.
Yes.
This can initiate a conflict, and it is not to the maturity of both the nations. One thing I would like to say, that locally in that area, we have hotline between the local commanders. We have 2 border personnel meeting sites in eastern Ladakh. We have very good treaty and agreement of 93-96.
Yes.
And we have got an effective mechanism to resolve the things. I personally feel, or at all level, whether it's a ground level, it's a diplomatic level, or at the top leadership level, I think together we must resolve it. Actually,
Absolutely. That's a good point to make there, that it needs to be resolved. And if the Wuhan spirit or that Mamallapuram connect actually remains, then it's for President Xi Jinping to tell his army that he's had a strategic discourse with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It cannot be you have a strategic discourse at one place,
Yes,
and his army comes creeping in at a different level. So that is the signal that's going out from India. We are strong on ground. We want peace, but not this constant pinpricks at the LAC.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Gaurav Sawant, for getting us that special and exclusive interaction. Gaurav has been tracking all the latest. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Moving on now, a new drone chopper, AR-500C, could be China's latest mind game against India. This Chinese mouthpiece, Global Times, has said that heli drone would be used for missions along the India border. Take a look at this report.
A helicopter without a pilot. This is the AR-500C, a new Chinese drone chopper. Airborne recently, this heli drone is China's latest mind game against India. On Monday, even as tensions simmered between Indian and Chinese troops in Ladakh, this is the provocative headline China put out through state-run media, specifically mentioning that this new heli drone would be used for missions along the India border. Now, this isn't just an innocent news story, but a focused piece of psychological warfare as part of China's larger propaganda machinery, especially when you consider what this helicopter is stated to be for. While specifically mentioning India in the headline, China goes on to describe the heli drone's missions as reconnaissance and communications relay, electronic disruption, target indication, and fire strike, all highly provocative in the current scenario. But China's power play is also a good time to look at India's own heli drone capabilities, or lack thereof. After 14 years of attempts to purchase heli drones from abroad and convert manned helicopters into drones, India's HAL is now close to beginning tests of its own 200-kilogram unmanned helicopter called the RUAV. As you can see in this concept animation commissioned by HAL, the mini helicopter is envisioned for ground troops at the border, including for targeting and reconnaissance. While a debate exists over whether heli drones are useful in tense border areas, there is no doubt about their flexibility and ability to conduct low-altitude operations in pinpoint areas. So while China looks to play mind games with new military tech, India has no reason to be spooked on that front. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.